Let's go. Beautiful. First day practice, Fort William World Cup 2024. We're inside the brightly coloured poles. There's riders coming down at ferocious speed, and there's exciting sections everywhere. So I just want to get you knowing exactly what this track's like, what the challenges are, what are riders doing to get it good. Oh, Sheena Killigan. Oh, that bit's sick, you're going to like this. And then we're going to do some ghosty comparisons, explain what's going on, and I just want you excited. I just want you to be excited for the race this weekend. So, top section of the track. It's been dry, weirdly dry. And the material that they make the tracks out of up here, it turns to powder. It was super dusty, there's loads of little rocks. It's like riding on marbles, very hard to find traction. So lots of drifts going on up there. It's absolutely sick. And then the rock hasn't changed. The weather doesn't really change the rock. It's almost like they get sharper when it's dry. So there's been punctures everywhere. I was running up the track, delivering a burger to the camera guy, and there was just people coming down, puncture, puncture, ruined wheel, snap bar, frame in two pieces. Ow! No! No, ow! Ow! My wheel! No! So it's just like this track has just been munching bikes. It's like the Cookie Monster, but his cookies are rear wheels. Like this, he's just like this. Oh no, no! Yeah, Brayton. So yeah, bikes are getting munched. And then coming into this middle section, it's running so good. Like, these woods are usually like soaking wet, slippy, disgusting, but there's a bit of tack, there's a bit of grip in there. There's line choice, there's good stuff going on. We're going to look at it in a sec. And then down the lower bit, they've straightened out sections. Where there used to be corners, they're like, screw that. He was so young, not even a year old. And they killed him, killed him. Bloody straight lines, eh? It's fast though. No more Schwalbs. The Schwalb turn. When people's wheels, tires fall off. That guy. You can't deny it's pretty quick. The track used to be about 4 minutes 30. We reckon it's going to be close to 4 minutes. So the average speeds are higher. Some of the features are bigger and a bit more spectacular as well. So that's an overview of the track. We're going to just cruise down next to this, see what's going on. Who's getting it good? Who's getting it bad? How are they doing that? Will I tell you? I might. Let's go look. There's loads of sections like this on the tracks out in Europe, but in Fort William, there's one. There's this one. So there's some highs and some lows, and like the kind of choices that people make is, first of all, they look and see which line they feel like they can go the fastest on, but then how do you tell what's fast? Because like this line there, you have to slow down to be able to turn up to get wide for the next kind of section in the trees. And then there's a line where you stay a little bit higher and just go straight, and then you slow down less. So that's the brake check up. That's the brake later and just go straight. So do you want to be faster at the start or faster in the middle, faster at the end? It's so hard to tell. So riders will try all the different ones and then try and get a gauge on what feels the quickest. But then the big teams, they got people with timing beams and stopwatches. Here we go. Yo! Now that was an attacking entrance speed. He broke super late. If someone was doing the other line here, he'd have accelerated past them. But then you have to decide, do you lose time with a tighter turn going into the trees? Oh, you feel the ground move when people like slap into the banks. Like the ground is unstable. But like through this section, because it's dry, there's like a bit of grip to the dirt, so people are really committing to it. But there's quite a few routes, and what the riders do is they try and turn before them or trying to turn at the end of them. So for instance here, this tree, you wouldn't think a tree of being like a berm or anything, but pretty much your wheels cannot slide out. So if you just lean in and hit that tree, it will hold you. But turning here is quite tight, especially off that lower line. Seems like from what we've been watching, the people on the kind of two higher lines, there's just less turning here and you can just carry the speed down. But having the commitment and the strength to hold that speed down into the next section, through the ruts, through the compression, through the tricky braking zones with all the bumps and like off camber into the right-hander catch at the bottom, that is hard, especially after doing 2 minutes of rock slapping up the top.
Oh, cheers, man.
Yeah, no stress. Have a good one. It's Danny Hart. Danny was on about trying to get inside of the rut at the bottom, because the rut just like steals your speed. It's like too sharp. Here we go. Like that. Like that. Do you see it? You see it inside the rut. Danny's no daft. So you may have spotted earlier, I was manning the camera, getting the ghosted images, so apologies in advance. And let's start off with Dominic Platt riding for Atherton Racing. He goes high, then he goes kind of like high, middle, low, low. There's many different options here, but Dominic did that one. And then we've got Jack in the Sunshine. He goes high as well, and he goes onto the high, but then he cuts across later onto that low line. So two very similar lines. Let's see how they compare. So they both gap into the section. You can see Dominic goes tiny bit higher, and Jack brakes way more than Dominic does to get right up onto that higher line, but Dominic just lets it run down into the low line. So he's faster into it, but they're really neck and neck as they both come into the right-hand turn. The turn at the bottom of that low line is super tight, and then climbing out of it, it looks like Dominic takes it by 0.05, super close. So we know Dom was fastest in that line. Let's compare someone on this lower line. So we've got Sebastian Holgonvilla. He does that low scoop into the low and then the high. So it's a low, low, high. Let's compare the two. So Sebastian, he comes in so fast, and look, he's way out in front by a couple bike lengths, and Dominic looks like he slots in between Sebastian and his teammate. And then he swings down, Dominic's on the low line, as then Sebastian cuts across onto that higher line. It looks like he really carried the speed in, but Dominic looks like he could be pulling ahead as Sebastian rails that line. Who's going to carry the speed out? Who's going to get to the drop on the exit of this quickest? And it looks like it is Sebastian by 0.28. So that low line was working. Let's compare him to someone a bit faster on that higher line. Holy moly, Lachlan was absolutely motoring into there. So here we go. Lachlan goes into that higher line. Sebastian is a tiny bit in front, but he's got a much harder turn as Lachlan gets off the brakes, accelerates out of that right-hander, straight down onto that higher line, into that rutted turn at the bottom. Sebastian's got no chance, and it's a little... Just take my word for it that Lachlan is a little bit in front as we get to the end, and it's 0.85 to Lachlan on that run. It was just the aggression that he went into it. Just like that. That is also an extremely aggressive run from the recently back in the bike Amory, but he goes low on the exit. So he does that wider line, but let's compare him to the fastest other rider we saw that does the high line into that right lane on the exit. So we've got the two. It's the French 1-2. Here we go. Amory is slightly out in front. The aggression as he goes into that, so he can be more aggressive because he was going wider. But then you can see Benoit was so clean onto that higher line, hits that compression in the ruts, takes it like an absolute champ. They come into the corners. It's looking super close as they come around the corner. Amory goes around the outside, and Benoit goes on the inside, and he gets to the drop quickest. 0.19, and Benny, he's taking the ghosty of the day. The French ghost, he takes it in the woods. Ghost in France, but it's the UK. It's our near neighbour ghost. I've lost track of what I'm trying to say. Benoit Coulange, everyone. And now back to Outside Bend to go down the rest of the track. When you're gonna safe and sound. So we got rid of the sharp turn, and then here the track used to come to where I am and have a tighter turn here, and it was like maybe like a 3-4 mile an hour speed difference. So being able to go straight here, even though it's getting chewed up, it might sort itself out so that you have more speed into the next section. And an extra mile an hour all the way to the motorway would add up to, okay, I'm not good at maths, but this much. Go on. Show us it. Tame. Let's go. Yeah, you gotta get on the gas because this is the gorge leap, the gorge gap, the river rapid thing. It's a long one, but it's actually quite chill. Let's go see it. Kind of scared to cross again. I mean, it requires some input. The takeoff, apparently, it has a 1 degree upslope and no lip, load of speed, and speed's not going to get you all the way over. You have to pop. If you don't pop, you go plop. That was a pop and a wiggle. Pop and wiggle. Go! Oh! So, I'm definitely being a bit silly as we're working our way down, but the exit of that jump, whoa, go on Vergier, gives you so much more speed through this section. It used to be slightly uphill into here. People would be pedaling super hard, and I found this section usually wouldn't get like that chewed up, but now they're coming in faster. You've got to think there might be a little bit of braking going on in here, and it's bringing out some holes, some like big compressions, and with the speed they're coming in, this has actually now become a technical section. It didn't used to be. You kind of just like dribbled through it. Oh, do you see the press up? Like, this used to be chill, and now it's actually a thing you got to like think about and worry about. But yeah, the speed coming in is undeniably faster. So you're going faster into the jumps, and they're not any bigger. So let's go look. Oh! That is absolutely disgusting. In the past, there used to be an inside and outside here, but it's so fast coming in, it looks like, or the shape of it's changed. It's just, yeah, not many people are doing the inside. There's not many tire marks there. You can see where they had the leaf blower out blowing the gravel away, but people are slapping that outside. Look at this. Ugh! Oh my God. Oh! Did you see the press up? Dude, Finn Isles is not a weakling. Ronan. No. No. That was. He's really unreasonable, that lad. Luca. Oh. Mr. Smooth. Go on, Bruno. Bruno! Everyone's giving me panic attacks. It feels like everyone's keeping the front wheel down nice and letting the back wheel just go. So that was an afternoon of elite practice up in the hill. First day of practice, line choice was happening, people were doing silly stuff. It's pretty sick. Hope you enjoy getting inside the tape with me. It's time for a beer. It did respond. So coming up, we'll, hey, dancing beer! Hey! So yeah, stay tuned for Story of the Race tomorrow. If I've got my schedule and release schedule right, let me know what you want to see next time down in the comments. And yeah, Ben Cathro out in a bit.